talking about trading crypto for beginners. Cryptocurrency, you might have heard of Bitcoin. If you're a beginner, a newbie in crypto or investing, this is for investing and for crypto. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way, I appreciate that. And let's get into this. I just got off the phone with my client and she had several questions about crypto and investing as a newbie, as a beginner. So some of these questions were really good questions, and I think this was really valuable for anyone. So also I want to say at the beginning, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just, from personal experience, I've learned some of these things the hard way, so I can maybe help you save some of your money or help you learn from some of my mistakes, but just I'm not a licensed financial advisor or anything like that. So just to be transparent. And I have been interested in crypto for about 4 to 5 years. One of my friends, who is actually my two friends that grow mushrooms, actually are the two people I know that were into cryptocurrency first. I don't know what the relation is, but I noticed that. Maybe they're ahead of the curve. But check out some of my other videos about, wild mushrooms and stuff like that. But in this video, we're talking about investing. Is this even investing? I want to talk about this and investing for newbies because, like I said, I just got freshly off a conversation with one of my clients, and I think this could help. This advice that I have for a newbie investor, a lot of it would be good for anyone. Some of the personalized stuff I won't mention, but so let's get right into it. A lot of her questions were technical about like different wallets, how to start getting it and everything like that, how to log in, what to use. And I'm not the most technical person. So some of these questions weren't for me. I did have other advice though for a newbie based on my experience because, like I said, I started dabbling in this about 4 or 5 years ago, and for a period I was trading daily, and also recently for at least the last year, I've been watching the charts daily. Now that doesn't always mean that I'm in a trade, but I did trade today actually, and I made some money. Not very much, but I did make a nice little 5-minute profit on a little Doge blip. And I'm actually, what is Doge at right now? I just did 2 technical analysis videos, one of them yesterday and one of them like a week ago. And I talked in that about how to use the indicator, how to actually trade using the chart, the technical analysis. And that brings me to some of my advice. Just look, you don't have to get in. You don't have to throw your money into something to learn. You can use a paper trading account. Either keep track yourself on paper, like you used to do, or you can even, I think TD Ameritrade has a free paper trading where you sign up for an account and you can like have a paper trading account attached to it that you can use that doesn't use your real money. That way you can test your ability and test your psychology, because for me, I'm trading based on technical analysis, which is using the chart, using math. And you can predict, sometimes to very good accuracy, you can predict not only one, but multiple potential outcomes. And some people might think, well, why would anyone use technical analysis if you have more than one potential price target? Well, it's still very useful compared to just trading blindly and wishing it goes up. You know, I've done that like way back in the day before I knew how to use the chart or anything. And I remember, wow, this is probably 15 years ago or so, where I bought some kind of stock for the very first time just based on some tip. Yeah, that went to zero, by the way. And I didn't know how to time it. I didn't know how to ladder in. You know, that's another thing I didn't mention in my Doge trading video, but, and this can apply to everything. That's the good thing about technical analysis, is that you can just look at the chart and you can see things, patterns. It's about pattern recognition and other mathematics, and that sounds really difficult, but if you're not using your own money and you just look at it for a while, you can start to see it with no pressure. And if you dump a bunch of money in right away and have a bunch of pressure as a beginner, you're going to be learning under pressure, which is the worst way to learn. I read in a book, you know, one of my books on the shelf, that you learn better when you're not under pressure. You learn like 3 times better. You learn 3 times worse if you're under pressure the first time you have to do something. I remember there was some study done with like a fire alarm. And as long as people learn when it's not really happening, then later, if there is actually an emergency, they can easily remember how to evacuate because they practiced the fire alarm while it was no pressure. Same thing can apply to trading. If you do it with a paper account or just with a little bit of money maybe, you know, you can start with $5 here and there. Some of the accounts that I use, you can buy fractional shares of stocks or crypto. You can buy a fractional amount, so you don't you can buy as much as you want. So you can just play around with $5 here, $5 there, $5 here, $5 there, until you get the confidence to, you know, and it could take a few years to be able to been through the different types of market. And that way, since I saw Bitcoin rocketing, I was, you know, back in 2017, and when it was crashing, and I've also been part of silver way back in like 2011 when it was rocketing, before it was rocketing, and also after it was coming, it came down for years. And Bitcoin came down for years. And that correction took forever. And, you know, it takes as long as it needs to take to shake out all the weak people. And then finally, when everyone kind of forgets about it, it goes roam, because it's all market psychology. And, you know, they go into detail in the book about Elliott wave theory, which I would recommend something like this. And I talked about that in my video about Doge, the first video I made. And I do have a playlist on investing and speculating. Let's get to that point too. Is it even investing? By the way, I have links in the description where you can get a free 3 stocks from RobinHood right now, or if you use Stash, you can get a free $20 for starting out using the app. I use both of them, and I use other ones as well. But actually, I've had problems with both of them, just to be honest. But over time, I really actually grew to like them, because sometimes it's really easy to get on there. And, you know, sometimes I use Stash and sometimes I use RobinHood for different things. And I like to keep them separated. But, you know, that's open for you. If you don't have any accounts like that and are looking for one, then there's, you know, a way to get started and you get something free. And when I first got started, I used someone else's link, which helped them as well. So that will help me out as well. But you'll get free stocks or free cash. So that's pretty cool, just to get the ball rolling. And you're going to have to use some kind of platform anyway. So, you know, let me know your favorite, if you're watching this, what your favorite platform for trading is in the comments. Because in the past, I've used other things and I've had problems, especially with crypto, getting the money back or transferring it with the banks and stuff like that. And, people criticize Robinhood because you're not actually getting it in the wallet. You're just kind of trading it and you're not really the owner of it. But I'm just trading it anyway. So for me, that's okay for my purposes. I'm just in and out, and then I'll use the winnings to invest in something else, something real that I can touch. Just because if you're investing in crypto all the time, all day, every day, it gets really draining, and that you're not ever really winning and touching anything. So if you do make some profit, don't waste all of it. I'm not saying to run out and spend all of it. Definitely, some percentage of it, be disciplined with it, put it back in. So here's what I recommended. And I learned this from a couple different wealthy people. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. When you get paid, no matter what way you get paid, if it's from a job, if it's from a business, even if it's from unemployment, or if it's from whatever random thing, when you get paid, have an exact amount already that you put and divide it into different areas. This is to protect you from yourself. This is also called pay yourself first. I mentioned this in some of my other videos, where most people worry, my video about bills. People are so worried about their bills that they never become wealthy. But I'm not telling you to ignore your bills or to get bad credit or anything. Don't misunderstand that. But shift your focus over into make some new bills that will actually duplicate. Now they won't always duplicate. There's risk involved. And trade at your own risk. Like I keep alluding to, is crypto even an investment, or is it just a speculation or a gamble? I personally think that it's gambling. Now that doesn't mean I don't do it. I think it's speculating, and I'm willing to speculate sometimes, and I'm willing to speculate some of my money. Now, I am more risky than some people. I'm more conservative than others, but I tend to be on the more risky side, where, the older I get, the more focused I get. It's calculated risk. I'm not just running around risking things like I was in my 20s. However, I learned a lot from that. So the younger you are, the more of a cushion you have for failure. And failure's gonna happen. Embrace it as part of winning. Now, you want to minimize failure, of course. I'm not saying to fail on purpose, but that idea of it's okay to take a certain amount of risk, and just you're gonna have to learn about yourself. The more you know about yourself when investing in business and in life, it's always better to know yourself. It's always better to know more about yourself, and also knowing yourself helps you know other people better. And knowing other people is going to help you time the market and do business more successfully, because people are predictable. And when you start to see the ways even that you're predictable, you'll be able to make better investing decisions, and also you'll be able to avoid getting emotional and making bad decisions. It's never good to make business decisions from a whim or from emotion. It's about the money. When we're talking business, it's about money and profit. Now, in my other videos, when I'm talking about health, that's another thing. But when it's about money, it's about profit. When it's about profit, and when I say money, I actually used the word incorrectly just now. Money is gold and silver. The dollar is fiat currency, And cryptocurrency is a cryptocurrency. So make sure you're not mistaking real money for currency. And I talk about this in my other videos. I have a couple about gold, silver, and you might want to check that out, or you might want to check out Reddit/Wall Street Silver. You know, I've been talking about this for years, way back, you know, in like 2010. And people were sick of hearing it, didn't want to hear it. Well, it's becoming more and more relevant the more they print the fake fiat currency, the more relevant it's going to become, because they're not printing more silver. They're not printing more gold. So something to check out if you want to see some of my other videos. And if you don't know anything about this, the most important thing would be learning or partnering with people that know already. Either you're going to have to put the blood, sweat, and tears and time and effort into becoming an expert at something, or you're going to find the expert and recruit them. Those are the options. There's no way around, like, there's no way to just become successful without doing anything. Unless you just get lucky, and that's not what we're planning on for this video. So what I'm talking about is starting with nothing or starting with very little and becoming successful with nothing. That's pretty much what you can do. There are millionaires and billionaires that have gone from nothing to riches, not because their daddy gave them or not because they won the lottery. No, there are people out there that did it themselves. I know that, you know, the grumpy, bitter people sometimes forget and like to blame everyone that's doing better than them. But here's another tip that's not directly about investing, but will help you. Celebrate other people succeeding. Even if they're not doing what you would do, there are keys to success hidden in everything. Hidden in every type of success. So even if it's a different industry than you are in, even if it's in a different asset that you're interested in, you can still find the principles in there that will work, and they're timeless. The principles of how to make money and get rich or become wealthy are ageless. Yeah, the things that people are doing, the marketplace changes over time, but the fundamentals of how people operate stay the same. It's psychology, it's market psychology, and that's, you know, if you know from my other videos, you know that I've been studying psychology for over 15 years. Well, luckily, it's finally becoming profitable when I'm trading Dogecoin, which is funny. Because you can use the psychology, people are buying and selling. It's very basic psychology. You know, sometimes the people freak out and buy more. Sometimes the people freak out and sell suddenly. But there are other people that know what's going on, and they are operating strategically, systematically. If you don't have a system for trading, then you're just randomly going for it. And that I wouldn't ever recommend just randomly going for it. I would recommend finding a system to follow and seeing if it works. And then if it works, keep going and double down. If it doesn't work, you know, and that's over a long period of time because the markets change. What worked in a bull market will not work in a bear market. So your strategy for investing has to include crashes. It's gonna happen. You know, like I just put out a video yesterday and I think Doge hit the top. Or did it. So check out that video if you want to see the technical analysis where I'm actually measuring it mathematically to see where it might fall. And actually that's happening right now. I need to get off of this live and check back in on it. So yeah, for anyone watching, what's Doge at right now? Comment below. Because I was waiting for it to come down a bit more, and I was going to do a quick little trade. I hope I didn't miss it, but I may have. Let me see here. Do I have that app on my tablet? Oh, it's not in front of me. That's one of the problems with crypto, is that it's trading 24/7. So, you know, sometimes I sell everything before going to sleep, because you could wake up to a whole nother world in the morning and be cursing and kicking your laptop out the window. And, you know, the more money you have in there, the more cursing and the more kicking you're going to want to be doing. And that's what other people are feeling too. So you have to understand the risk and reward before risking anything. But if you have extra money that you feel like gambling or risking away, then crypto might be good. If you feel more conservative, then something like gold, silver, real estate, although real estate is abnormally high at the moment, who knows how long it could keep going, because the marketplace changed. You know, commercial real estate is not looking good for the next few years, I think myself, and I've heard other people say, because people are working from home, people don't want to be in a crowded place, people don't want to go anywhere unnecessarily. Retail was dead anyway. I was already preaching that. I've been doing e-commerce. Maybe you didn't know because I wasn't talking about it recently, but I started an e-commerce company like 5 years ago, and I still have it. It's still profitable. I don't make videos about it, but if you want to know about e-commerce, I can give you tips on some things. I mean, I built about 200,000 followers for that brand, not for this brand, obviously. This one, my own personal brand, I started working on seriously about a year ago. And when I finally figured out how YouTube worked, it's working. Actually, the things that were supposedly how to grow on YouTube, yeah, they did start working. So it'd be easier, I think, with a brand new channel, actually. I've had this channel for like 6 years, and it's not monetized yet, and it's not profitable yet. So making a YouTube channel isn't always the best idea if you're looking for an investment. But I'm doing this because I get some benefits other than money from it. I get some kind of like social, like I'm giving back something. You know, some of this is basically nonprofit charity. I have a lot of videos that are just helping people for free. So it's not, my other businesses are profiting, thank God, and this one isn't. So, but in the future, it might be in a month or two, it might get monetized finally after a lot of work. So thank you so much for watching anyway. I appreciate a few key people have really been helping me and sharing my videos in certain groups and stuff, which that was a huge help. Thank you for that. But what are my other advice? Okay, I'm looking at my list for, these are my notes from just doing a consultation with a newbie about getting into investing and getting into business. One thing I told them is it's easier to buy a business that's already cash flowing than it is to start a new one, because it's been de-risked. And that's going to be music for people's ears, like the bank or the investor. The money has been de-risked, which means you're buying a company that already put in all that blood, sweat, and tears to find out if it was going to work. And it did work. Now, if you buy a business like that, then it's cash flowing from day one. Now, on the converse side, if you start your own company from scratch, which I've done both. I've bought a business that was like 10 years old, and I've bought, well, that was not the ideal, but I would do better next time. That was 10 years ago. But anyway, I've also started businesses from the scratch, and I've also started like a franchise type. Not exactly, but that was already built a system. And so I can see the difference, and I can definitely tell you from 15 years of business experience that it's easier and better, in my opinion. Now, that doesn't mean there's no risk at all, but it's better, in my opinion, to, not just in my opinion, but it's better to buy a business that is already cash flow positive. They've already de-risked their time and money, and oh man, that would have saved me, a lot of effort. If I would have understood that over 10 years ago, I would have loved it. Some of this advice is things that I wish I would have known, in my early 20s, or actually, I started my first business before I was 20. I was a teenager still. So it's not my first rodeo, and I have multiple businesses right now, actually. I have, one of them is e-commerce. One of them is in a real-life, old-fashioned style business that I didn't announce yet, but check out my Patreon if you want to see the behind-the-scenes secret info that I don't share anywhere else. And then this YouTube channel, and I have other projects as well. When I say e-commerce, I'm lumping it all together. I have probably like 5 different stores, and I had more than that. I've started several. The first one actually is the one that's still profitable because the brand was the best. So I learned a lot about branding, and actually branding's really fun for me because I have a background when, I'm an artist. I was growing up before I was ever doing business. Branding is a good thing for art and design. All right, what other strategies do I have for a beginner? Definitely the paper trading, definitely. And just starting, give yourself maybe a year, maybe longer. Give yourself until you feel like, aha, when you found the right deal or the right trade and you have a gut feeling, now still you might be wrong, but after you've had a lot of experience and you get a gut feeling, wow, that's really good. Use them, if you check out my videos about technical analysis, it's very mathematical. So it tries to take the emotion out of it because you don't want to just be guessing. Oh, should I sell now? Oh, should I sell now? Oh, should I buy now? That's terrible. I can't believe a lot of people are actually trading like that. If you actually have a system that's going to get you predictable results, like I've been trading based on the RSI and a couple other things, and it's been pretty predictable. That way I don't have to freak out and get so emotionally into it each time. I just, try to make it as unemotional as possible. And if you can't do that, then maybe investing is not for you. And I mean, I'm emotional too at some times, but I still take better risk than others. So it's just, I know myself. It's all about knowing yourself. And also, here's another really good advice that I wish I would have gotten when I was younger. And I've had good experience making money from this too, and I would have done it more. Now, in hindsight, it looks like a good idea. Certain things that people are looking to park their money in these days, especially since the craziness of last year and everything else. People are looking for where to put their money because they see the money printing going on. And money, not real money, I mean fiat currency. The fiat currency printing is out of control. They're printing and printing and print, and also printing. It's not even printing anymore. They're not even printing real dollar bills. It's mostly digital. Someone typed it out, blip, there's the money. Well, fake money. There's the dollar, and it's out of control. So the more they print, the more they create out of thin air, the less the old money sitting in your grandpa's account, the less it's worth. The people that have been saving their whole lives are getting screwed the most. I'm not saving like that. Well, it depends though. Some people are staying liquid on purpose because they're looking for acquisitions and they're waiting for the market to crash to take a big bite. But that's not what most average people are doing. Most of the people, the money sitting in the account is just getting crushed right now because the value of the dollar is almost nothing. And when people start figuring this out, then supposedly SHTF is going to happen. And the crypto people and the silver people are not really doing it the same way, but both of those groups are thinking, what is the Fed doing? They're printing all this fake money. They're printing it to oblivion. What's happening to people's savings? What's it turning into? So people are looking for where to park their money, and some people say to diversify. Not everyone says to diversify though. So let me give you two different perspectives of people I'm following that are worth about $500 million each. So these two guys, some of the things they say would line up, some of the things wouldn't line up. So it's possible to disagree and still be wealthy. That's good. But one of them is saying only cash, because when crap hits the fan, they're gonna be liquid to do whatever they want. And while everyone else is going, what do I do? Help! That's what the masses are gonna do. That's what the masses do whenever anything happens. Help! Someone rescue me! I don't know what's going on. That's people's attitude about almost everything. Health, money, you name it. And I've coached people in business and I've coached people in health. And right now I do both. And, luckily my clients are, at least have a chance. But the people out there in the world are just like throwing their hands up in the air and just totally oblivious and like waiting for someone, the government, to come save them. Oh man, I hate to break your bubble, folks, but in fact, actually, I say I hate to break your bubble in my videos often. So actually, I think I like to break your bubble. I just like to say, I like to just do it with a little bit of grace, hopefully, and not just break your bubble all at once, although sometimes that's the best way. But I know people don't like that. And I know people don't like me breaking their bubble because most people want to just believe what they always believed. But if you're trying to grow, if you're trying to level up, then you're going to have to find people that have already been there, done that. And often their way is not going to be like whatever you were doing, or you would have already been successful. So if you randomly have a successful way, then you're successful already. You don't have to understand how it works. So you don't have to be intelligent, unfortunately. I was intelligent and broke for most of my life. And, you know, intelligence, in fact, I think holds a lot of people back. But you can still become successful if you're intelligent. And intelligent people, once they figure it out, then they can super succeed. But you don't have to figure it all out, though, to get the result. Because the principles in life, it's the same thing about the things about health. You don't have to understand the sarsaparilla tea. You don't have to understand why it's good for it to work. Doesn't matter. It only matters when you're trying to explain it to someone. But it does what it does because of science, because of the universe. The sarsaparilla root is healthy not because of some theory, it's because of the results it gets. So I'm very practical in those ways. So here's one more tip before I sign off on if for beginners to investing, for newbies, whether it to be in crypto or investing in general. This could save you a lot of time and effort and money. Well, the thing I said about buying revenue is easier than creating it, that is priceless info that, you know, would take some people. It took me over 15 years and I finally figured it out, but definitely, you know, a lot of pain and a lot of lost money went into some of these advice. So if you can learn something off of someone else's mistake, it's gonna save you time and money. And time is more valuable than money. Time is more valuable than money. You can always get money back. Even after having failures, you can still be successful. But you can't get the time back. That's why most of my videos are about health, because the health is more valuable than money. But anyway, you can get more money, you know, even if you think that you can't, you can. And I can make another video about that, but raising money or fundraising, that's another topic. So here's the tip, here's the last tip for young people. Well, it could be good for anyone, but especially for young people. Start doing this early and you will have a huge advantage over your dumb friends. I know everyone's friends are perfect, not. So when you get paid, here's the bit of advice. When you get paid in any way, whether it be income from a job, income from a business, from an investment, anything, have a certain percentage of that money specifically set aside and divide it into three. I started talking about this earlier in the video, I think. But have specific proportions split up. And here's what to do with that. And I talk about this in pay yourself first. These are paying yourself first. These three little, you know, I've heard some people call these the 3 buckets, or I think maybe Robert Kiyosaki called this 3 envelopes. So I've heard multiple different people talk about this in a little bit different ways, but this habit of every time you get income to put a percentage of it in 3 different things. And what are the 3 different things? But just the habit of doing this at all, that's what makes people wealthy. Habits are what make people wealthy. Your thinking and your habits. Most people think like money is going to make them wealthy. No. If you give one person one amount of money, and if you give another different person the same amount of money and send them off to, you know, come back in 30 days, I think they did this in the Bible, where there was a landowner that he had some slaves, some servants. No, that's not politically correct, but it was in the Bible. I'm not making it up. And he gave three of them, I think. He gave three of them money or something and told them to take care of it or whatever. He was going to go on vacation or out of town on business, and then he was going to come back. So what happened was some of them squandered the money, some of them just held on to it, and the other one like tripled the money or something like that. And who got rewarded? The person that was able to multiply the money, because they got the most with what they were given. They got a more of a result with what they got. So that was plentiful, like in the eyes of the Lord, or something, that using what you have and multiplying it, that was the message. And when you do get any money, divide it into these three things. Now, what are the three things? Well, depending on who you listen to, you can divide it into, and the percentage is different for everyone. So let's just say it's 10% of your income. It could be 50% of your income, or it could be 90% of your income. If you can live off of 10%, and if you can put all the rest, you know, if you can live and survive off of just that amount, you can use the 90% or 70% and invest that. And then how do you divide it though? Whether it's 10% or 50% or 70%, divide it equally, and you can put some of it into charity. And now, why would you put some of it into charity? Well, for the sake of your subconscious mind, and that's what my background mostly comes from, is your subconscious, when you donate or whenever you pay money out, the mind doesn't know if you're getting it or receiving it. You just feel good. You know how sometimes you feel good for spending and you got something? Or sometimes you gave money as a gift and you felt good from it? Well, it's that good feeling and this is, I'm just talking about one of the implications that makes it good for your future. And that constantly having extra, your mind knows that you're wealthy. You have more than you need. That's abundance. That abundant feeling will make you more money than a scarcity feeling. When you're constantly, like, every bill makes you hate your life. When you're thinking scarcity, and you get like a random bill that you forgot about, or you get charged extra for something and you flip out. But if you're in the mindset of abundance, then you think, oh, abundance. Currency isn't real anyway. It's all made up by humans. So there's plenty of it to use it to get something. And that way you feel good about whatever your bills are instead of feeling bad about them. And that feeling is what's important, because that's your life. You know, these feelings as you go through life, your reactions to the world around you, that's what's making your future. That's why some people are successful and they get more and more and more successful, because they're wired to notice the success and to gravitate towards the success. So you can use that to your advantage. And okay, so we talked about one of the buckets or envelopes. The second one is for investing. Now, this is going to be a risk. Depending on your risk level, that's up to you. You can have more than one split into investing, where, you know, half of it could be a little bit risky, and then some of it could be more conservative. And then what's the other percentage divided up into is savings. where it's just piling up, piling up, piling up, piling up. So that is some people's advice for how to gain wealth. Now that's the slow and steady way that will take you a lifetime. You know, as you're getting money, you're constantly dividing it into these. And there's a different way, though, to become wealthy exponentially, starting with nothing. Most people don't know about that, and most people don't talk about it because it doesn't benefit most people. The banks don't tell you because they want more fees and it's not really good for them. And the other gurus don't tell you because they probably don't know about it and have never done it. And the school doesn't teach you because they're not totally not on board anything, it seems, from my experience. And I was a great student too. So I'm not just saying that in a bitter way. I kicked butt at school, but when I graduated and then went into the real world, I found out it's total BS. And none of what they taught me helps. So basically, that's my channel, is like what I think the real university should be, or the real. I think people should learn this kind of stuff in kindergarten. It's pretty, a lot of it is simple enough for children, honestly. I mean, children aren't dumb until they start getting unhealthy and bogged down with brainwashing. Right at the beginning, children are geniuses. Basically, they learn so quickly, they grow so quickly. It's fascinating. But anyway, that's a whole nother video, a whole nother topic. So the third one was saving, where you're just stacking, stacking, stacking. So you could split it up into charity, investing, and savings. And if you're constantly, habitually doing this, your financial position will eventually change, and eventually years will have gone by, and you'll see your savings growing and growing. Even if you barely make any money, it'll be growing and growing and growing, especially if you start this early in life. And then those investments, they'll be going up and down, but one of them might knock it out of the park and make a lot. Who knows? That's the plan anyway. Some of them might just grow a little. Some of it might lose a little. Hopefully some of it doesn't lose a lot, but depending on what it was. If it was a bad investment, hey, it happens. Happens to the best people. But they don't focus on the failures. If you do have multiple projects, or if you make a business and it fails, or if you buy a business and it fails, go for it again, because failing once doesn't make you a failure. It makes that project a failure, not you. And that's an important thing. As someone, I take a lot of action, and I experience a lot of failure because I take so much action. I experience 10 times the failure of most people because I take 10 times the action. And I understand why most people are too lazy to do that, is because it hurts. You know, it sucks. It's not fun to lose money. It's not fun to waste time. So, you know, that's why I'm making these videos. Hopefully you learn from my mistakes, and I learn from my own mistakes, and I also try to learn from other people's mistakes. So everything, you know, some of this I learned from mentors that are making $500 million. I've been lucky enough to have some training from some billionaires here and there in my life, sprinkled around when I was able to get around them. But, you know, and also the internet. You know, you don't even have to have real mentors in real life. It'd be better sometimes, but you can learn a lot online. However, I will say most of the stuff online is BS. So that's a whole nother story. You've probably found that out for yourself already, though. But you can try it yourself and find out. And then, you know, once you've been around the block, you can eventually, you should be able to tell who's full of it and who isn't. I mean, definitely after studying psychology for so long and just being in the real world, doing business, getting tricked and cheated and this and that in different countries even, now I know now I have the experience to call people out right away. And that's some of it is just experience that will come to you over time. Some of those things you can't pay for, but you could recruit a chairman or a CEO for your investment or business, whatever it is. You can recruit someone that already has been there and done that. And that's the way to get around that learning curve. So if the learning curve it seems too overwhelming, you can recruit great people on your team. It is possible. So I'll have to make, another video about that kind of thing, because I would just dive down a whole nother rabbit hole for that one. Most people would be better off recruiting, at least a mentor or an accountant. A lot of people don't even know what's going on with money. They don't even know what money is. So education is good, but also it's not good to just spend all your time on education and not taking action. Because, I know I got tricked growing up into, I got straight A's, and I got tricked into thinking that it was important. It isn't. You know how many people care about what grades I got? No one, ever. Other than my parents, years ago. Who cares? No one. So your banker doesn't care. Your CEO doesn't care. They care if you can bring it. Are you honest? Do you have work ethic? I mean, what else really matters? Life is pretty simple, actually. Business can be pretty simple. Take a lot of action, but it's not all. I know there's a lot of people online saying education, education, read books and whatever. And yeah, I read books too. I've got Think and Grow Rich sitting in front of me. I've got another book. Actually, I have a stack of books sitting in front of me. But I don't spend all my time, you have to balance the research and the action. For me, I'm in a research-heavy industry, and I'm coaching people, so I need to stay ahead of the curve always. And I like researching, so I'm not fooling myself into thinking researching is going to make you a bunch of money. Sometimes what I researched does make a lot of money. But also, you can see this in the world. You've noticed a bunch of dummies out there making millions of dollars, right? I noticed it too. So it's not always about knowing things and being smart and to make money. And I think that was a misconception that I had to learn the hard way. I thought, yeah, I'm smart. So I thought when I graduated, I would just, yeah, I'm going to be super successful and whatever. Well, college didn't teach me how to make money, and neither did primary and high school. Nope, not at all. So even though I was able to kick butt at school, I did not kick butt when I first started doing business. So that's a misconception that young people need to be woken up to this. School doesn't matter unless there are a few professions that would require school. And honestly, I did really well in school, and I liked university. I kicked butt at it, and I had a good time and succeeded. I didn't, a lot of people party and fail at the school part, or some other people never party and just study. I had a good, well-rounded both, where I didn't party too hard, well, because I had traumatizing experiences where my friend overdosed, basically, so that kept me at least clean enough to stay alive. I was aware of not partying like an idiot. But I still had fun and succeeded at school. But then, nope, that's not what the world is like. I learned the hard way. And since I graduated, I've been re-educating myself on what actually happens. And business is like a brawl, like a street brawl. And sometimes it is who you know. But it's not. So yeah, sometimes it's your team. If you're not the right person, you can recruit an amazing team and do very well in business. Most people try to go at it by themselves, and it's a sad display. It's like a small business owner that I was venting or I was complaining in one of my videos about small business owners that design their own logos and everything, that don't have a background in design and stuff, and you can tell, and it just looks like such a crappy branding, and it's just cringing. And I know someone, they should have hired me, and they were from another language. English was their second language, and they had their business name and their motto, or like their catchphrase, whatever that is, their mission, or right now the exact word is escaping me, but it's kind of like a motto where you've got their name and then you've got a saying under it. And this one was so bad. And the business owner, English was his second language, so you would think that he would be open to changing it. But he was so stubborn about not changing it, and and it's just cringy sometimes to see these people who really shouldn't be in business going into business by themselves and then competing with everyone. I mean, if you're doing business online, you're competing with the rest of the world. Don't fool yourself into thinking that part of it's going to be easy. If you have an amazing product that everyone wants, it will be easy. People will be knocking down your door to get more of it. But if you have something and you're competing with the whole entire world, yeah, that's what most people have. But they're not willing to realize that their idea isn't the best idea ever, and they think it is. So they spend years and years and years on their brilliant idea. And I've done this too. It's called, what is that? Pride of authorship. And as an artist, it's kind of like that artist feeling, like you feel proud to have created something. But in business, that can sometimes be really terrible and cause a lot of stupid business decisions. So I see that a lot, but that's okay. The marketplace will chew them up and spit them out. I mean, the marketplace is brutal, and they'll pay what they want and they will ignore what they don't want. So if whatever your business or investment isn't succeeding, then no one wants it. There's no magic it's either hot or it isn't. There's no way to trick people into liking it. That's not how marketing and sales works. You shouldn't have to hard sell people on things. It should be something that they naturally want. I'm a salesperson. I've sold things before, and I have a program that I sell in my videos, but I don't hard sell it to anyone. Once in a while I put a little bait out there, hey, if this certain type of person only wants in my program, then reach out to me. And that's it. And the right people the right people reach out to me, and that's it. So I don't have to shove stuff down people's throats like I see so many people doing on social media. Like, no one wants your dumb energy drink. No one wants the dumb, BS. Like, I see so many people, amateurs, pushing their dumb crap on social media the wrong way. And there's the right way to market on social media. Yeah, social media is great for marketing. Don't get me wrong. Social media is amazing. I'm using it right now, in fact, for business and marketing. There's nothing better right now. But the way that a lot of people use it is not really productive, and they're just spamming people with stuff that no one really needs. I'm not into that kind of business, but I know a lot of people are. I'm only interested in things that are really vital. And, I like to, we're only, if you believe that we only live once, some people believe it, some people don't, but I want to take advantage, whether or not it's true. I want to really focus on things that really matter, that are really going to make an impact. Not the stuff that most people are like driving around like chickens with their head cut off, just like going from one stupid appointment to another and not really stopping and thinking, what am I spending my time and money on? If people just stopped to think, is this really important in life? Most of the time, no. The answer is no. So if you shift over to things that are more important, your life will be better. Honestly, you'll feel more like you actually, feel like you're doing something with your life. Sometimes people ask me how to find their passion or how to get more energy, and I'm super passionate and I have tons of energy. Though I'm overflowing with energy and I'm overflowing with passion, that's not my problem at all. But my problem is I have too much energy and too much passion. What do I do? And I want to only focus on things that'll actually make an impact for myself and for the world. And I try to cut everything else out. As I find things aren't really working or aren't going to be good long term, I'm cutting that stuff out. I'm not in my, I'm not 20s anymore. I'm not willing to waste time trying a million different things. I still experiment, but I focus the experiments on things that I already know I'm good at. I already know I'm interested in. Does that make sense? There's so much information packed into this video. I think this could have been like probably 10 different videos. So if you're just tuning in at the end, you might want to go back to the beginning when I end it and watch the beginning, because I shared a lot of different valuable things in the beginning. And thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I'm taking strides for monetizing this channel. I'm almost there. I only need like 800 more watch hours. Oh man, that final stretch. So thank you so much for everyone watching, and I'll keep bringing the content. Let me know what you think if you want to see more videos like this. If you want to see more technical analysis videos for Dogecoin, or maybe for something else. Maybe there's a certain stock that's popular that you want me to do a technical analysis video of, I'll do it. If it's related to health or wealth, then I want to talk about it. So I value your feedback and your questions in the comments. We usually have a really active comment section, but I have it covered up. It's not really, I haven't really been asking you questions, so let me know in the comments if you understand any of this and if it's helpful for you. And I could elaborate on any of the different things I touched on in this video. I could probably do a whole video on each one of those things, but let me know if you want me to go into detail in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. And if I don't make a whole other video about it, I'll at least try to answer you in the comments. And I'm pretty good. I answer like 90% of the comments. So I appreciate everyone that's been commenting, all the new subscribers recently. It's been quite a lot, and I appreciate all of them. So I'll see you in the next video. Have an amazing day on purpose. Peace.